Hey everyone, it's Zahava. Welcome back to the channel. Today with us we have my whale collection. I thought you guys might like to see my whale collection just for something different in the background. Today we're going to talk about the beginning of the year book tag, which I think is going to be super fun. So I got this idea after watching a similar tag on Olive's Book Nook, and I thought that we could go through this list of 25 questions. I know that you guys are going to be seeing this video in February, but hopefully we can still have a good time and talk about the beginning of the year and what we plan to do throughout the rest of the year. So let's go through the questions and I'll put them out across the screen so you could read them as I'm answering them. So the first one is, what is your reading goal for 2025? I hesitate to say a TBR 0 because I don't think that's possible. I would love to be able to read down my TBR cart, which I think has something like, I don't know, over 100 books. I have 100 books like lying around the house, more than that, probably 150. Plus there's books that I have on hold at the library, which I'm going to go and pick up, or I should have picked up directly after filming this video. But basically, I want to read as many books as possible. I would like to read 100 books if I can, which is not an unattainable goal for me, but it's not the be all or end all of my success this year on this channel. If I could get to that many, that's great. I'm not counting in that number any DNFs. So if I start a book and I get like 100 pages in and I don't like it, I don't consider that to be a book read. I consider that to be, not a failure, but if I didn't complete it, basically, I don't consider it as having been read. So, yeah, I would like to read, if at all possible, 100 books this year. So we will see if we are successful or not on that, in that regard. How have your reading tastes evolved over the last year? Well, basically, they've evolved over time in the sense that I am always looking for authors who are new and unfamiliar to me. I'm starting to get more into urban fantasy, magical realism, whereas before it was mostly just high epic fantasy that I was reading. So that is definitely a change for me. Also, there are certain books that are literary fiction and definitely memoir in terms of like the nonfiction that I wasn't always very keen on before, but have come to like over the last year or the last couple of years. So yeah, definitely expanding my horizons, trying to get more into genres that I'm unfamiliar with, but I would have considered myself chiefly a high fantasy reader. Now I'm sort of exploring other genres, which is good for me. Question number 3 is, what is the genre that you would like to read more of in 2025? And I guess for me, that's going to have to be the mystery thriller, because I don't ever read mystery thriller. I did read the Benjamin Stevenson Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone book, but I don't know if that's considered mystery thriller because I don't really read John Grisham or any of those types of authors. I don't read Lisa Unger. I don't read any mystery thriller basically. So I would like to try and get more into those, but I guess I don't read them because I feel like you invest a lot of yourself for like a very little payoff at the end. So like, whereas if you're reading a fantasy, you're kind of rolling the entire time. I don't know. It's just not a genre that really resonates with me. I think it is because I read The Ritual Bath by Faye Kellerman at some point last year, and I really didn't like it. I really did not have a good time with that one. Now, that could have been particular to the author, but it really didn't do it for me. So I guess I'm probably unfairly judging the genre. But if you guys know of any that you think might hold my interest based on what you know of me and my tastes, please let me know mystery thrillers down below and I will check those out. Question number 4 is, what is your most anticipated release of this year? And for me, it's going to be Water Moon, just because I heard some really good things about it and it is a standalone fantasy. I don't really know much about it other than that, but Water Moon is on my TBR. I don't physically have a copy of it. I think I'm waiting for it to come from the library, but that is one that I definitely want to be reading this year in 2025. What is the sequel that you are anticipating this year? Okay, so for me, it's actually not a sequel that will be published this year, but it is a sequel that I hope to get to this year. And that is, I would like to finish the Bloodsworn saga by John Gwynne. So I've read Shadow of the Gods, and I will want to be reading Fury of the Gods and Hunger of the Gods. I don't know which order they come out in, but I have them all. And so for me, that's going to be the sequels that I'm I'm going to be flocking to this year, but I'm kind of going to couple them together because it's books 2 and 3 of a finished series. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on in terms before I start the Greenbone saga, which I also want to start, which I think it's the Greenbone saga with Jade City and company. I'll put it across the screen. I might be wrong, but before I start another series, I definitely want to finish the Bloodsworn saga. So that's going to be next up for me. What is a book that you are likely to reread this year? I had put that it was going to be the John Gwynne series, the Bloodsworn saga, again for this question in my notes, but I actually just changed my mind. I think that if I do a reread this year, it's going to be An Academy for Liars, because I just listened to that book on audio and I would really like to get the print copy, and I would like to sit down and read the print, or I could just borrow it again from the library and listen to the audio again. That would be valid in terms of a reread as far as I'm concerned. So I think that like I said in my last video, that book lives rent-free in my head, and I will definitely want to be rereading that at some point. So it may as well be this year. Question number 7, what will be a priority read for you this year? So for me, it's going to be The Will of the Many. Now, you guys have heard talk about that from many booktubers. You probably read it yourself already. I have not read it yet. I do own a copy of it. It is sitting right over there in the pile of books that is right over there. It is a chunker, but yeah, definitely for me, that's going to be a priority. Now I have a lot of books. Right now it's February. I have a lot of books that I've gotten from the library because my turn came up. So I have to kind of put The Will of the Many. It kind of will go down in priority whilst I read the library books that have been assigned to me in the interim. I'm hoping to get to The Will of the Many in March, maybe in April. That's kind of what I have forecasted for now, but that's definitely going to be one of my priorities for this year, 100%. So question number 8 is, what was a book that you hoped to get to in 2024 that you didn't end up getting to and would like to get to now in 2025? So for me, it would be The Goblin Emperor, but luckily for me, after I film this video, I'm actually going to be going to the library to pick up the copy that was reserved for me. So I'm going to be able to read that right now. Number 9, what is a series that you're looking forward to reading this year? Okay, so it's going to actually be another John Gwynne series. It's a series of 4 books. It is The Faithful and the Fallen, so I want to be getting into that one this year. Not really much more to say about that. I have the books already. I bought them on Amazon. They were having a Boxing Day sale, so I have those. They're on my bookshelf, on my TBR, and that's the series that after the Bloodsworn saga, I'm going to try and read. I just don't know if I'll get to it before the second half of the year. So we'll see. So number 10, what is a popular book that you hope to get to this year? So for me, it's going to be The Silent Patient. And actually, I started it a little bit. I think I'm in chapter 6 or 7. But again, this fell victim to the library triage list. So I had started the book last week, I think. And because all my library books came in, I had to put The Silent Patient on hold. It is a copy that you guys may have remembered from a previous book haul that I did where the books were delivered and my neighbor picked them up. Do you guys remember I talked to you about that? And I didn't know that the books were delivered. So those came in from Indigo. So then I had to go like return the second. So I bought them again and then I had to go return the second copies of the ones that I bought. Anyway, I have The Silent Patient already, but because I have the library books that are coming in, I'm going to just sort of jettison that for now and go back to it in a little bit, but definitely want to be getting to The Silent Patient this year. For sure. So what is a non-popular book that you want to read this year? And so for me, that's going to be How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House. I don't know anything about it. I just bought this book because I like the cover. So I'm going to, I think it has like 15,000 ratings or something on Goodreads, which I guess is not entirely popular, but it's only got like 6,000 reviews. So 15,000 star ratings, 6,000 reviews. I think it's pretty fair to say it's not super popular, so I will get to that one this year. I don't know exactly when. I'm thinking it'll kind of be a spring read, early summer read for me, but I want to get to it eventually, and I will let you know if judging that book by its cover worked out for me or not. Number 12, what is a book that you would like to read based on its cover? So for me, it's going to be Vita Nostra, and that is by Marina and Sergei Dyachenko. It is translated from its original Russian. I know it has a sequel, potentially it is a trilogy. I just don't know if the third book has been translated yet, but I know that the second one has. I'm looking forward to it. I saw this book at in the bargain section of the Indigo when I went to the Indigo, which is the Canadian kind of Barnes and Nobles. And I think it cost me $8 or something like that. And it was the last copy that they had in the store. So meant to be, I'm hoping, but it had some very good reviews and I just picked it up purely based on the cover. So there could not have been a better book to pick as an answer to this question. Yeah, I mean, the cover is just stunning. Look at it. It's fantastic. So I'm excited to know what is happening with that tale. I think it's also like a dark academia, if I'm not mistaken. Question number 13. What is the book that you currently have on your shelf that you will probably never read? For me, it's an easy one. It's A Complicated Kindness. I don't even know why it's there. Number 14, what is a book that you have owned for years and have not yet read? I actually don't have any books that fall into that category because I've only really started collecting books since last year. If you come back to me at the end of 2025 or in 2026 and we're doing this beginning of the year book tag again, I will probably have books to answer this question with, but for now, I don't really have any, so I'm just gonna pass on to the next question. What is a book that you think everyone should read in 2025? I don't have a particular book. If I had to pick a particular book, I would probably tell you An Academy for Liars. It's terrific. If you haven't read it, read it. But my heart of hearts, if you know me at all, wants to tell you that if you haven't picked up Robin Hobb's Live Ship Trader series, this is the year to do it. Do it, do it. You will not regret it. For me, it's an absolute 5-star read. All the books were 5 stars for me. I will tout Robin Hobb's Live Ship Trader series to the moon and back, to the point where you're so annoyed with me you want to unsubscribe from this channel, and that's fine because you know, you're missing out. You're the one who's missing out. So if I could suggest any book or series to anybody, that would be the one. If you like a pirate tale, a love story, a family-centric politics, slavery, everything, it just has everything. Everything. So Robin Hobb's Live Ship Trader series, that would be my suggestion. But if you don't want to get into a series, then An Academy for Liars is definitely the way to go. What is a book that you want to start in 2025 that you are nervous to tackle? So I did buy The Eye of the World, which is the first book in Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series. Now, I have never read Robert Jordan. I do know that there are 14 books in the series, or 14, 15, I'm not sure exactly what the count is, but it is a commitment. It is a commitment if I want to commit. And I think why I'm nervous about starting this series is because Robert Jordan's books are so highly touted that I'm actually legit afraid, or low-key afraid, that if I don't like it, will the internet cancel me? Maybe. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to find out if that's going to happen. So I think it's more like, you know, with Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson and all the other fantasy authors that I haven't read yet. And if you guys are curious and you're new here to this channel, you want to know which of the other majorly popular fantasy authors I have never read, I actually have a video about that on the channel. So you guys can click just lower down in my video history and find that 15 fantasy authors that I have never read. And Robert Jordan is one of them. And I'm just afraid that if I start The Eye of the World and if I can't get into it and if I don't like it, then I don't know, the internet's gonna like cancel me or something. I don't know. So so I think I'm kind of low-key putting that one off, and we may still have this book on the list next year as one of the ones that I've had on my TBR card for a long time and haven't read. So we'll see. We'll see if we get to that one this year or not. I'm thinking probably not. So number 17 is going to be, what book are you saving for a specific season this year? And I actually don't have any. And that is because I am a mood reader largely. So I don't generally say, oh, I'm just gonna put this book aside and read it a little bit later. Although now that I've thought about it, I did answer earlier in this video, I might want to save How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House for later in the spring, but that is just a question of timing and the other books that I know that I have that are going to be sort of cutting it off in line or beating, you know, the reading order to that book. But that's largely due to, you know, mood reading. So I don't really save books for one season or another. I just read what I feel like reading when I feel like reading them. And based on that, I did end up buying a copy of The West Passage, and I'm waiting for that to come in shortly. It should be in like next week or something. So I would say that when I'm in the mood to read The West Passage, I will read The West Passage. But other than that, I don't think I have any particular season that I reserve any particular book for. So the next question is, what is a backlist title from an author that you read in 2024 that you would like to read in 2025? And so for me, I know that I've mentioned this before, it is going to be The Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne, because those are 4 books from an author that I've read in 2024 that I would like to continue reading in 2025. There's also Constance Sayers, who is the author that wrote The Ladies of the Secret Circus, and I did like that book a lot. And I know she's got 2 other books out there that I can get at my local libraries. So this question, I kind of have 2 answers for that, I guess. So it'll either be John Gwynne or Constance Sayers, books that I had first been introduced to the author in 2024 and that I would like to read the backlist in 2025. Maybe not the entire backlist, but I would like to definitely read selections from the backlist this year. 19, what is an author that you will not be reading this year? Okay, so I will not be reading anything by Samantha Shannon. I did not like The Priory of the Orange Tree. Let's not get into it. This author is not for me. I will also not be reading any Emily Henry. Go back a couple of videos to find out why. Number 20, what is an auto-buy author for you this year? So for me, it's going to be Gareth Brown. I had a really good time with The Book of Doors. Super good time with that one. He has a new book coming out later this year. It is called The Society of Unknowable Objects. So whenever that one comes out, you know that I am absolutely going to get my hands on a copy of it, whether it's on Kindle Unlimited or from my library or whatever, but I'm definitely going to be picking that one up. I've been waiting for that one to come out. Who is an author that you've never read before that you would like to read in 2025? There are so many, but the one that comes to mind is Brandon Sanderson. Okay, so it's actually technically a lie. I did read 15, 20 years ago, or tried to read Elantris, but I ended up DNFing that book. So I'm thinking it might be time to give Brand-San another chance. 2025 is the year. Cheer me on, everyone. I'm going to do it this year. What is a bookish goal that you have for 2025? I would really like to not buy as many books as I've been buying. I'm already failing. It's January. I set myself out a goal this year to use my library more and to buy books less. And I failed at that. You will see why in upcoming book hauls. So I would like to try to buy less books, but I don't know how successful I'm going to be on that front. Let me know if you guys are successful, or if you've made like a New Year's resolution that you're not going to buy books, but you've already scrapped that like I have. Let me know so I don't feel so alone. 23, what is a bookish habit that you are leaving behind in 2025? And I think that for me, it's going to be trying to plow through or trudge through books that are not easy reads. Trying to honor myself when I need to DNF a book, whether or not I have spent money on it. I know it's always harder to do when you spend money on it, and every time you have to DNF a book. I think that going along with this question is the feelings of guilt that are associated when it comes to DNFing a book and feeling like super bad that A, you spent money on it, if you did, B, that you didn't succeed where other people have loved the book. Like in the case of Black Leopard, Red Wolf, I start to wonder if I'm stupid. Like, honestly, I just didn't get the writing. It was very literary, very poetic, very atmospheric, very like, I don't know, like almost like I want to say like tripping on shrooms. And like, I would not know because I've like never done shrooms, but I imagine like it would be like a drug induced kind of thing, like either shrooms or, you know, some sort of hallucinatory kind of thing. That being said, I just I don't know. I think it's hard to come to terms with the fact that you might not get all the books that you read, or that all the books that you try to read, even though other people really like them, might not be for you. And that's kind of a hard thing to shake off, because you start to wonder if it's you, or, you know, maybe you don't wonder if it's you, but I wonder if it's me. So I'm trying to shake that habit of needing to let go of things, or feeling, or rather, I'm trying to shake the habit of feeling bad about needing to let go of things, if that makes sense. I think it's really just about releasing the mental anguish. Okay, number 24, who are some booktube creators who inspire you? So I have talked about Olive at Olive's Book Nook before on this channel. I have talked about Tyrone of Bookish Dad Reads. I have talked about, I don't know if I've talked about, but I watch and have commented on some of Danny's videos on Danny Dabbles, so you should go check her out. And there is Sid Bookworm, who I also really like, because she's just so cute. She's so cute. So those are some of the booktubers that I have been into lately, but of course there are so many more, so you can't possibly answer this question by listing everybody. It's just impossible. I also like Shaughnessy, not because I read the same books as she does, because she reads like a lot of romance books and stuff, but I like her aesthetic. I like that the vlogs break up scenery. She takes you outside, you sit down, you make bookmarks. There's a little A&C, which there's a little arts and crafts, you know, there's a little, like, I don't know. I like the flow of her videos, but sometimes, I'm going to be honest, I do have to click away because we don't actually read the same thing. I think that Shaughnessy is really very much romance, and she doesn't really read anything else. So sometimes if the videos play in the background when I'm working and I don't really have to pay too much attention, I will watch her content, but we don't really have a lot of the same books in common. But I wanted to give her a shout out because I do appreciate that she takes us on field trips and that, you know, she breaks up the scenery quite a few different ways. Oh, and I want to give an honorable mention to Locke's Library, which does all the things that I wish I could do. She's very aesthetic. She's very much make the coffee, you know, read the book, dark academia, the nails, the makeup, the everything, the unboxings. So Locke of Locke's Library, there's a mood for you sometimes. So I appreciate that. So I want to let you guys know to check out all these people that I've mentioned. If you don't know them, they might work for you. So you could check them out. I enjoy their videos. Okay. What to expect from this channel in 2025? More vlogs. I'm trying to do more reading vlogs for you guys. I can't always promise to record different scenery. I usually wait until everyone has left my house, because I know that I put out videos for everyone to see on YouTube. I get that. Something is, we've already established this, is very, very wrong in my brain. But I actually cannot film if I know that there are people in the house. Like it makes me super self-conscious. I can't do it. And then I go and I like publish this content for like thousands of people to see. So I don't know. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the beginning of the year book tag. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you don't want to leave a comment down below because you don't really have anything to say, but you would like me to know that you are here, please leave me a little bookworm emoji down in the comments. I would love to see that. And I will see you again in the next video, when hopefully I will have my copy of Babel, and I will have my copy of The Goblin Emperor, and I will have finished The Bear and the Nightingale, and I will have more bookish updates for you all. So, and maybe a different background. These whales don't have names, so if you guys want to name them, let me know in the comments below too. I would be down for that. All right, enough blah blah. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you again in the next one. Ciao for now.